want to sound more advanced in English, but you keep using the same basic verb, say, for everything. I mean, why use he said it quietly when you can use he whispered? Or she said she didn't do it instead of she denied doing it. So let's learn 12 powerful alternatives to say so that you can express yourself more clearly, more accurately, and sound much more natural and precise. Are you ready? Now, before we look at the 12 verbs, I want to mention something important. And that is, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the word say. Okay, it's simple, it's correct, and native speakers use it all the time. But if you want to sound more advanced, if you want to express yourself more precisely and accurately, sound more natural, and also understand native speakers more easily, then you need these verbs from today's lesson. Okay? Let's go. Oh, and by the way, at the end of this lesson, what I'm going to do is show you a paragraph twice, once using say for everything, once using all the verbs from today's lesson, and you will see just how much more advanced and natural the second version sounds. It'll be clear to like wow. Okay, so let's learn these 12 verbs instead of say. Starting with this one, whisper. So someone is speaking very quietly, almost secretly, and they don't want other people to hear. We use whisper, okay? The grammar for this is you whisper that and what they said, okay? Or whisper and then the words directly. For example, she whispered that she had a surprise for him. Or, don't tell anyone, he whispered. Okay, before I forget, this lesson includes 12 verbs instead of say, but I've made this PDF for you, which includes 40 alternatives for the verb say. 40! That's incredible. So I've organized them by category, so you have a list of verbs that you can use instead of say for when you're expressing something with emotion, when you're saying something quietly, verbs for formal situations, like loads of different categories. So it's really cool. You can get it by clicking up there or scanning the code or clicking the link in the description and I will send it to you free. Okay, so the second one is complain. And we use this when someone is expressing like frustration or unhappiness about something. In those situations, instead of say, we use complain. And we use this structure. You complain that what they said, or complain about a noun or a gerund. For example, he complained that the food was cold. Or she complained about waiting for over an hour. The next one is suggest. And we use this when you are offering an idea or a possible solution. We use suggest. Now be careful here because this one has some grammar that causes a lot of confusion. Basically, after suggest, we do not use an infinitive or a person. Instead, we use the structure. Suggest, that, and then the subject, and then the base verb. So it's not she suggested to go to the beach, and it's not she suggested me to go to the beach. No, it's she suggested that they go to the beach. You can also use a gerund, that works fine too. She suggested going to the beach. Another example is this. He suggested that we try the restaurant on the corner. She suggested taking a different route. So they are your two options of grammar with this verb. So be careful. Okay, the next one is insist. And this is when you're saying something very firmly, okay, and you won't take no for an answer. In those situations, use insist. Okay, the grammar is insist that, and then what they said. For example, he insisted that he hadn't done anything wrong. You can also use insist on the gerund, ing, the ing form of the verb, like she insisted on paying for dinner. The next one is admit. Okay, we use this when someone is confessing to something, okay, like accepting that something is true, often something they would rather not say. So instead of that, we use admit. The grammar is admit that, and then the thing that they said. Okay, for example, he admitted that he had made a mistake. We can also use admit plus the gerund, like this. She admitted feeling nervous before the presentation. The opposite of admit is deny. So we use this when someone is saying that something is not true. Okay, they are like rejecting an accusation. Somebody is saying, hey, you did that. And you're saying, no, I didn't. Okay, so in these situations, don't use say, use deny. And just be careful, because deny is followed by a gerund. Okay, it's followed by ing, not an infinitive. So not, she denied to steal the money. No, she denied stealing the money. He denied knowing anything about the missing files. Okay, before I tell you the next verb, why don't you write a sentence in the comments using either admit or deny? It doesn't have to be true, but just use it in a sentence. It's a great way to practice what you learn. So write a comment using admit or deny. I would love to see your examples. Ready for number 7? Let's do it. Warn. So this verb is used when you are telling another person about a danger or about a problem before it happens. In these situations, we use warn. The structure is you warn someone about, and then the thing. Or warn someone that, and then whatever they said. So she warned him about the icy roads. Or he warned us that the exam would be very difficult. Okay, remember, the lesson comes with a free PDF. It includes all the verbs from this lesson and the structures and extra examples, but also a load more alternatives to say. Over 40 in total, all categorized, and it's a really, really valuable resource to have. So you can click up there to get that or scan that code, and I've also put a link in the description for you. All right, number 8 is state. We use this for when you're communicating something very formal in a very clear way. The grammar is to state that, and then the thing, whatever they said. Okay, so the report stated that unemployment had fallen. He stated clearly that he had no intention of resigning. Okay, so it's a formal, clear communication. Number 9 is explain. And this is when you're giving information to help another person understand something. Like I explain English grammar to you. You explain that, and then whatever you said. Or explain a thing, like you explain English grammar, or explain how, or explain why, or explain what. There are many different ways we can use explain. A couple of examples here for you. She explained that the delay was due to the bad weather. He explained how the system worked. And the next one is persuade. This is when you convince another person to do something, or you convince another person to believe something. Okay, in these situations, instead of say, use persuade. Just be careful with the grammar here. Persuade always needs an object. Okay, always. So you persuade someone to do something, or you persuade someone that blah blah blah. Okay, but you always need a person after persuade. She persuaded him to apply for the job. He persuaded the committee that the plan would work. All right, the next one is brag. Quite a cool word, brag. This is when someone is always talking about themselves in a very boastful way, like, hey, look at me, look how good I am, yeah? Showing off, basically. Instead of say, we use brag. You can also use boast. They mean pretty much the same thing. And the grammar is brag about, and then a noun or gerund. Or brag that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he bragged about his kids all evening. Okay, oh, my kids are so great, blah, blah, blah. She bragged about her amazing level of English. Ooh, look how good my English is, okay? She was bragging about it. And number 12 is joke. Now, joke is a funny story, joke, but we can use it as a verb when something isn't serious, so you're just being funny or playful. You joke that blah blah blah, okay, you joke that what you said, or you joke about a noun or gerund. So she joked that she hadn't slept in 3 days. Okay, it's not really true, she's just being humorous, yeah? Or he joked about his terrible sense of direction. That's your noun. Terrible sense of direction. He joked about his terrible sense of direction. Again, not being serious, just laughing about a particular topic. I said I had a bonus for you at the start of this video. Do you remember? I said I was going to show you the same story written twice, one version using say for everything, and the other version using different verbs. So let's have a look at that now, and just tell me how much better version B is with all these cool verbs rather than option A. Right, okay, version A. Mark said that the meeting had gone well. His colleague said it had been a disaster. Mark said he didn't agree. He said the new plan was solid. His colleague said she had serious doubts. Mark said she was wrong. Eventually, Mark's boss said they needed to stop arguing. All right, perfectly understandable, but let's have a look at the same story with today's verbs. Okay, option B. Mark insisted the meeting had gone well. His colleague complained it had been a disaster. Mark denied this. He stated that the new plan was solid. His colleague warned that she had serious doubts. Mark joked that she was always pessimistic. Eventually, Mark's boss suggested they stop arguing. Same story, completely different feel. The second version is so much more precise, more vivid, more natural, and that's exactly what today's verbs will do for your English, as will all the verbs in the free PDF. If you don't know me, I'm Greg. I've helped thousands of English learners stop stressing and start impressing. So if you are stuck at an intermediate level of English, make sure you subscribe to get my new lessons every Friday. And if you want to keep this going, then watch that video next, because if you don't know those 12 verbs, you're not advanced yet. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.